So the topic that everybody loves, actually I'm lying, they don't love, door knocking.
Yes. We
Right.
don't. Love, don't love. It's a.
Nobody likes the door knock. No agents like the door knock. But you've made it a point to door knock, right?
I have.
As a brand new agent,
Yes.
and you've seen a great amount of success.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So the first door that I knocked on, I was so nervous. It was actually my neighbor's door.
As nervous as you are being on this podcast?
As nervous as I am currently, yeah. And so I went up to the door, shaking in my boots at around dinner time too. So terrible timing, but I was like, I just got to get out there. I knocked on her door, and I told her, hey, just to let you know, I'm a real estate agent. And she said, oh, funny enough, my mom, who's in the kitchen right now, is looking to buy a house. And I was like, this can't be real.
Wait, your first door
My
that you
first
knocked.
door, like my literal next door neighbor.
Yeah.
And she's like, my mom's trying to buy a house. And I was like, okay. So I gave her my business card, and I was like, have her contact me. English is her second language, so she was a little concerned that there would be a language barrier, but everything worked out. And we started to work together, and in a matter of 3 showings that we did, I got an offer accepted, and we closed a couple weeks ago.
Wow. Can
Yeah.
we give her a big round of applause? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I mean, look, it is an anomaly that obviously you go
Absolutely.
knock on your first door. That turns out that you convert that person into a buyer, and,
Right.
and then you end up closing.
Yeah.
But I think the lesson here is no matter whether or not you're nervous or not, just showing up.
Right.
Right. Just going through the motions at least.
Right. And that first door gave me the confidence to then go to all the other doors. And granted, I didn't have any return from my other neighbors, but
Yeah.
yeah, actually I kind of did. I door knocked again a couple weeks ago, and I had a neighbor reach out to me 4 or 5 days later. They wanted to see a house. They didn't end up wanting to be ready to purchase yet, but either way, like I've already seen, a couple people reach out to me as their
But that's
local
an
real estate
opportunity.
agent. Right.
Right.
And now I have her information, and she's a neighbor. She's like, I'm so happy I got to know you. Now another person on the block that I know. So it's not she now thinks of me as her real estate agent, and I'm going to keep following up with her, and then hopefully she'll be able to refer me if she's not looking or whatever the situation may be. I'm just trying to let my neighbors know.
And you're doing this right around where you live.
Literally, I live in Parsippany, so there's, I just go up and down every block, and I hate seeing listings. I haven't gotten a listing yet, so I hate seeing for sale signs go up around my neighborhood.
Such
I'm
a
like,
gut
oh
check,
my
right?
God.
It's like, ugh.
It kills me. And I'm like, I could have just, like, I didn't knock on that one door. Like, I stopped here. I should have just kept going, because you never know. And granted, they might not have gone with me, but to put me in front of people and get me that opportunity.
Yeah. How often do you do it?
I was doing it a lot more than I am doing it now.
Brave.
I know, I'm not gonna lie. So I did it before I went on vacation, which was a couple weeks ago. That was the last time I did it. So I was doing it every week consistently, like every Monday. If I couldn't do it on Monday, I would do it on Sunday.
How long?
Oh, like until I ran out of my business cards, obviously.
Nice.
So I would grab like 15-ish.
Yeah.
Some people wouldn't answer. I go to the next door, and that takes a decent amount of time. It takes like an hour and a half-ish.
Yeah.
So
Are you using door hangers, by the way?
I'm not using door hangers, no, because I figured I mark down in my phone the houses that I skip, because I think for me personally, I do well in front of people.
Gotcha.
Even though I'm a nervous person. Like once I get myself in front of them, that I do better. So once I write down the ones that I don't get, and then I just make a point to go back to them. And if they don't answer 2 or 3 times, I say, they have a Ring doorbell, they see that I'm coming, they don't want to answer, like that's
Gotcha.
kind of the way I'm.
What do you like when you knock on a door? What do you say? Is like, do you have your same intro? Is there something specific?
Yeah, I've been using the same intro. I don't necessarily know. I kind of want to tweak it a little, but I don't know exactly how to. So I'm just kind of like playing around with it. But I've just been saying I'm your neighbor. I live on the next street over, because people go from hard to like, who's this woman at my door, to completely soft. Like, oh, she's my neighbor. I don't want to be rude to her because I'll see her walking her dog later, So I say, hey, I'm your neighbor. I live right on Elmwood. I just wanted to let you know that I saw the house go up down the street, and I'm a real estate agent. I would hate to see that happen. I just wanted to let you know. Things like that, letting them know I'm your neighbor. I'm a real estate agent. I don't want to kick my neighbors out. Like, because one guy said to me, oh, you're trying to kick me out? And I was like, no, I'm trying to let you choose your neighbors, Like,
oh, that's a good one.
Just because a house literally like 3 houses down from him just sold. So I said, if you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell, or any family members, anything, I just wanted to give you this reference, because I know the market's really hot right now and a lot of people are looking. So rather than coming at them to say, I'm trying to sell your house, I'm your neighbor, I'm trying to kick you out, say, I'm your neighbor, I'm trying to assist you and help your friends and family, you know, kind of make it like more personal to them.
Yeah. And, you know, and a good thing also to obviously mention to them, and I've implemented this when I was cold calling. I kind of view door knocking and cold calling almost the same, although not the same, but you know, they're both very difficult. Cold calling, I think door knocking actually, believe it or not, is probably more difficult because it's weird that you're in front of a stranger and they come out and then, all right, now they're there and it's like, where at least with the phone, it's like you can hide, like click, right? Yeah. So with door knocking, I think something that could work also in greater detail is, you know, extracting all the sales from it and just simply say, hey, look, Brianna, live down the street. You know, I'm a real estate agent and I just wanted to see if I provided you with value, right? If I provided you with enough value, would you consider, you know, not just utilizing me as your real estate agent? If I provided you with enough value, would you consider, you know, recommending me to friends and family and people that want to come into the neighborhood? Yeah. Is that something that you guys would consider, right? Yeah.
And I want to find a way too, I think with door knocking to actually get in the doors, but that's just slowly, you know, that's the way to do it, is to get in front of people, to get more comfortable doing it, is because I think if I change my pitch a little, then you have the opportunity to say, if you are looking to sell, hey, can I take a look inside? I'm right here. I mean, I've heard of people in Signature having lunch with their neighbors, you know, coming in and saying, oh, come on in. You know, the people are really chatty. So like taking advantage of those situations, you're not going to be able to do it unless you're there knocking and kind of putting yourself in those
Let's talk about frequency and consistency. Now that we know that it works, right? How much more are we going to do of it? Yeah. Like ideally, how much more do you think you need to commit to it now that you know that it works? Because you just made 5 figures, right? Yeah. On a transaction. So you know obviously it works. Right. And if you double down on it, you can make a lot more money.
Absolutely.
You know, so what do you think you should be doing, or how often do you think you should be doing?
At least twice a week, because I haven't cold called yet. That's one of the reasons I'm here, is because that makes me more nervous for some reason rather than cold calling or than door knocking, because I like to be in front of people. It just makes me feel like there's a personal connection. I can find a way in. So I think 2 days a week for me is solid, and I can manage that. It's something realistic that I can do. Whereas when I first started, I was doing it 1 day because I was nervous. I got some success. Now I think 2 days a week is realistic, especially when it's warm out. I think weekends, some people don't like to. I think weekends would be good, but.
Oh, let's talk about best time.
Yeah.
Like, what is the best time during the week? And then what do you think is the best time during the weekday?
Honestly, I think that any time is a good time, because for me at least, and maybe that's not the right answer, but I've tried to say, okay, I should do it at 5. And some people say, don't do it at 5 because people are eating dinner. They say, don't do it on weekends because it's family time. So I really think any time you're going to go out, people are going to either shy away from you or they're going to want to talk to you. So no matter what the time of day is, it's like, if you show up, you're there. People are working from home now. So I've done it at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I've had I really haven't had anybody slam the door in my face. Not a single person has been rude to me. Maybe because it's the hey, I'm your neighbor, which I should just use everywhere, even if I'm not their neighbors. But,
hey, I'm your neighbor. I live 27,000 blocks away from you.
I'm real close, right there, right the street over. You know, with the blue car, you know the blue car, right? Yeah. But I think that any time of day it works, and people will be honest with you. They'll say, you know, some people are like, yeah, okay, take your card and shut the door, and they're not as excited to talk to you, but the time of day, I don't think is what matters, especially when you first do it, because that's what I was freaking out about. I was like, it's dinner time. What the hell am I doing? And then I was like, let me just go. And I got my first client, literally first client ever. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How was that transaction anyway?
It worked out really well. Yeah.
What did they end up buying?
They ended up buying a condo, and they actually turned around and listed it as a rental. That actually didn't end up working out. But the idea is that it would have been a seller or a buyer, and then the landlord as well.
Yeah, landlord and potentially the tenant.
Yeah, and now she even said to me, you know, the rental fell through, it didn't work out, but she's like, thank you so much. When I'm ready to rent, I'll call you. If I know anybody who's doing anything, like she's a raving fan of mine, which is great because. Yeah.
And I love that you just said that, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want. Like the whole goal is to make your client a raving fan.
Right.
Because if they're a raving fan, they're going to refer you business all the time.
Yeah. And it's nerve-wracking as a new person, because I was nervous that I was always worried, oh my God, are these people going to like me? But if you provide the service, and if you don't know the answers to the questions, but you figure them out, and you ask other people like Melissa, like yourself, people trust you. It's like they don't expect you to know everything in the world. So that's kind of something that I've learned.
You mean me? Melissa doesn't know anything. So let's just keep it us. Clearly, she doesn't even know how to touch buttons on the computer over there. All right, so let's digress here for a second. Look. Get out of here. All right, so when she gets out of the picture, let's digress here for a second. So you're not a brand new agent, right?
No,
you actually came from another brokerage.
Yes.
Didn't work out there. I don't want to mention the brokerage.
Yeah.
You know, you were actually working with somebody that you knew very closely, and now you came over, right? So just to give some people some context, obviously you've been in the business for about a year now, right?
No, I started in February, so a couple months.
All right, a couple months.
Yeah,
all right.
is that like 6 months ish? Something like that.
No, that's not much.
No,
Why do you like Leo was here
you
before, and I
always
always keep thinking that you know what it is. You guys impress
Don't
me.
age me. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. You guys impress me because you guys have been in the business for such a short period of time, but I feel like you guys have grown so much in such a short period of time in terms of like your learning curve, your education, you know, the experience. It's been fascinating to watch so many agents just like yourself in the company. But this is even better. What would you do differently today, knowing what you already know, right?
Yeah.
That you would implement right from the beginning?
I feel like when I first started, I was terrified to ask questions, not even with this brokerage, with the other brokerages, is why I didn't have success. But I was scared. I felt like when I came into it, I just took the test. I was supposed to know all the answers. I was supposed to be able to just sell houses and lean on people for little things. But like, there's a whole world aside from the real estate test that is not taught. You know, you can't teach that stuff. You just have to live it and do it. So I think leaning on mentors and reaching out for that mentorship, which I did for you. And I feel like that is where I got my success from. You know, I reached out to you to be paired up. You paired me up with Mel, and you guys have answered all my questions.
Sorry, I paired you up with Mel. No, shout out to Mel. She did a great job.
Yeah, it's
paying it forward for what I've done for her.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's what I said to you. I said, I want to be Melissa's Melissa.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm there yet, but even just
Big
having
shoes.
that person to reach out to that I feel comfortable with and knowing that like I don't have to have all the answers and there's resources. I think that's really where it is for me, because everything else I learned from the resources that you guys gave me. And if I would have just implemented those a little sooner, I would have had, you know, I kick myself in the ass because 2020 and 2021 were great years for people. And not that this year won't be, but sales were happening rapidly. And I think if I would have just stuck my foot out there and said, hey, I want help, can you mentor me? I would have gotten a lot farther.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's important, right? To absorb resources.
Right. Yeah.
And to also, you know, you kind of, when you're committed to your business, you have to watch the trainings.
Yep.
You know, and that's the hardest part for most brand new agents, right? Your first 90 to 120 days, your success or lack thereof of success for a new agent is predicated on what they really do in their first 90 to 120 days, right? Are you going to be on the trainings? Are you going to watch the videos? Are you going to work on your craft? Or are you going to take more of a reactionary stance?
Right.
You have to be really, really proactive. That's why I love the fact that you were door knocking.
Yeah.
Because a lot of agents, seasoned agents, don't door knock for the same exact reasons why.
Scary.
Yeah, exactly. It is scary, right? So like being in front of somebody and just being scared of rejection and objection, right? At the same time, they don't want that, right? So that's something that, you know, I wish that when I started off, I started to do. I didn't do door knocking until years later.
Right.
But I knew it worked.
And I wouldn't have done it though unless I had the mentorship to say like these are the things that work, you know, like because coming in I was like, what the hell do I do? How do I get like why aren't people flocking to me saying I want you to sell my house? I was like, what is going on? Hello, I'm a real estate agent. Like, didn't you hear? So
look at me, I'm a social media influencer. Sell your house with me.
Literally. Yeah. So I thought it was going to be a different experience from the start. So
So let's switch gears here for a second, right? So you get a cold call today.
Apparently, yeah.
Should we make you cold call?
No, don't you dare. No, I haven't even heard her. No, I haven't been in there for long enough. I don't even know what I'm doing.
All right, I'm gonna.
I know you made her do it.
I'm gonna give you some slack, but excited about it?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I want to. So I didn't realize I want to focus on listings. I really want to get listings because I've done the buyer side of things, and not that I don't want to continue doing that, but I feel like I want to know all sides of real estate to see really where I can land. And I haven't had any listings yet. I haven't done any sales myself. So I have a listing for sale by owners.
You've done sales yourself.
Yeah.
You mean you haven't had a listing?
A listing. I haven't had any listings myself. Yeah. Right. So that's a goal of mine. I really want to do it. And so I have a whole list of for sale by owners that I'm going to try. And I know they're tough to crack, but I feel like...
But you could cold call anybody, by the way.
Yeah.
It doesn't just have to be for sale by owners, right? You can circle prospect, which is basically cold calling as well.
Right.
Calling people around a specific, specific listing, whether it's ours or not, doesn't matter. Or you can cold call people in your area. So, right, instead of door knocking, right, you're door knocking through the phone. Like, hey, me, down the street, Brianna, on the phone, right? So you could do that as well.
That's a good point.
And cold calling does work. And I think you're going to be very good at it because, first of all, you articulate well, and I know that you're nervous, but it's like anything else. Once you practice it, the nerves are going to go away. Right. That's with everything in general, right? So I'm excited to see what the outcome is going to look like for you, especially in the next 4 to 6 weeks, right? And you may get lucky again, and maybe your first cold call is going to turn into a sale.
I don't like calling it luck, all right? It's just, it's my charm.
Yeah, the aura.
It's the aura.
Yeah. But you're not going to see results unless you try.
No, exactly. Right? That's why I'm here.
I'm happy that you're obviously here today and part of the lead building program.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna cold call.
Yeah, me too.
What are goals moving forward? Next 12 months. Let's do a strategy session. We're here, right? Let's do one. So what are your goals?
So, next 12 months, it's a long time. I should really think about it more in depth, but I don't have a piece of paper here. Yeah. But I think I really want to focus on listings. Like I said, I want to get at least, so I said my first listing by the end of September. So that gives me 2 months. It's a really long time to even just get a listing. That's not selling it. That's not finishing it. That's to get one person and get that listed. I have a lot of rental clients right now.
So let's talk about that. Let's strategize around that.
Okay.
So you want to get a listing within the next 2 months.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So actually less because we're already in August, right? So what are some of the activities that you're going to commit to moving forward to get yourself in a position where you're going to have those opportunities, right? So door knocking's one.
Door knocking's one. Calling for sale by owners. See, for some reason, like, I feel like that's my key to success because those are people who already want to sell their homes and people that have been on the market for days and days and days. It's like, you're not doing, like, what can I offer you? Because clearly it's not working. So I really want to really hone in on the for sale by owners because I know that they're in the market already. So doing that.
They're motivated. They want to sell the property.
They're motivated.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially the ones that have been on the market forever. It's like, I can help you, and not the ones who are like, it's been 2 days, I want to do it myself. It's like, okay, follow back with those, but I'll talk to you in like 2 weeks, see how you're doing. But aside from that, I haven't thought about circle prospecting on the phone. So that's a good idea. Like calling people. I know that you could send mailers out and everything like that, but I haven't actually
Circle prospecting is key, especially if this is what you want to do, right? You're like, this is one of the strategies that you're going to have to implement in order for you to, be in front of as many sellers as possible or potential sellers.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
And I love circle prospecting because if you come, and I always say this, right? If you come from a angle of wanting to just provide value, right?
Which I do.
And you extract all the sales from it, people are going to see that you're just genuinely interested in providing exactly that value. Yeah. You're there because you want to be the neighborhood expert. You want to provide them with the data. You want to be the person that they refer all their business to, right? And it's part of, or the start of, a relationship, right? And that's why I love it. I mean, but you have to, like anything else, you have to create frequency and you have to be consistent, right?
And
you
I feel like, go ahead.
Plan it. You got to schedule it. Like if you spoke to that person, when is the next time you're going to speak to that person, right? You have to schedule that out, right? And you have to put down in your notes, where did you leave off of? And it's not easy because you're really not talking real estate, right? You're trying to build a relationship. And every conversation that happens, less real estate is spoken about and more about them.
Exactly.
Maybe more about their kids, or let's say the last conversation, they told you that they were going to go on vacation. How was the vacation, right? When they know that you're genuinely interested in building a relationship with them that isn't built around commission, that isn't built around money, but more about value, they're going to want to deal with you. They're going to want to recommend you, and they're going to want to put money in your pocket rather than somebody else.
That's what I'm the most nervous about, realistically, cold calling, because I hate being sold to. Like, I hate walking into the store and having somebody try to sell me a pair of jeans, let alone being like, hey, can I sell your house? So I think that's really what I want to try to navigate. And like, it's just going to come with practice, but not having the commission breath, because I don't. But like, I don't know how to make that come across, because I think when people hear, hey, I'm a real estate agent, they're like, what the hell do you want? Like, everybody knows what the market is like right now. Everybody sees. So they know that people are hungry. So that's what I want to try to avoid, because I do want to build relationships. Like,
so watch this, right? Ring, ring. You pick up the phone.
Hello.
Hey, Bree, Mike Gomes here with Signature Realty. Look, I don't want to take up much of your time. I know your time is valuable. I'm simply giving you a call because I am a local real estate agent. I actually live down the street from you, right? I'm in the Blue House on Manchester Street. And
I know that house.
Yeah, they're great. I probably walked by your house so many times. But I just wanted to let you know, one of my responsibilities as the neighborhood, real estate agent is simply to provide value to all the homeowners in the area. Right. I live in the area. So this area is very dear to me, very dear to my heart, very dear to my family. And I just wanted to ask you, if I provided you with value from time to time, would you consider at that point, recommending me to your family, your friends, and other people in the neighborhood that are looking to potentially buy or sell?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
Yeah, awesome. Look, I'd like to come by, put a face behind a name. Are you available tomorrow just for 2 minutes?
Tomorrow doesn't work. Maybe sometime next week.
Awesome. What day? Monday, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
All right. How's noon?
Noon sounds fantastic.
Excellent.
Lunchtime.
I'm going to put on my calendar right now.
All right.
Do you like donuts?
I love donuts. Who
I'm
doesn't
bringing
like donuts?
a couple. I don't like. Some people don't like donuts.
Glazed only.
Glazed only.
Yeah.
All right. You're making too many demands here, Brick. I'll see you Tuesday at noon.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
That's all it's about. And I know that people are like, oh, but that's, they either trained it or no. That's how most of those conversations are going to go. You're going to get a couple of people that are jerky and they're going to say, f off.
Yeah.
Or
which is like,
I'm
okay,
busy.
I will.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Not a problem. But what's important is to bring their guard down right from the beginning. And that's why I like to say, this is so-and-so with so-and-so, I know your time is valuable. I'm not going to take up much of your time.
Yeah. I like that approach
because then they go from here to here. And then after that, 30 seconds later, they bring their guard down even more. And now we got them. That's what you have to do. Just understand that, you have to extract the sales from it.
Yeah.
And a while back, one of our agents came up to me. He's like, Mike, I really need you to help me with my sales pitch. I'm door knocking and I'm going to be cold calling. And I'm like, sales pitch? What do you mean? She goes, my sales pitch. I'm like, what do we sell here? She goes, real estate. I said, no, we don't.
Yeah.
I said, I want you to think about it for a second. What do we sell? And she looked at me very dumbfounded for 30 seconds. And she had no idea what I was talking about. And I said, value. You are telling people what your value is, right? We're not selling anything, because I'll tell you this. There's nothing you can do, especially with like a buyer. I could show them 100 houses. If they don't like 100 houses, it doesn't matter what sales pitch I have, they're not going to buy it.
Right.
They're just not going to buy it. If it's an investment, that's a little bit different, where it's like, look, here are the numbers. We can make this work, blah, blah, blah. That's different. But single family home or something that they're looking to live in, doesn't matter what your sales pitch is. If they don't love it, they don't love it. No, it's about the house. Right. So we have to work on an introduction and work on our, our value proposition. What am I going to do differently than the other person?
Yeah.
Right. Which is bring value, no commission breath, right? I'm here.
Follow up.
Yep. Follow up. I'm here to be a resource, not just for real estate. Look, you need you need an electrician in the area, a plumber, you need a contractor. Lean on me. Right. I've built relationships with a bunch of people in this area. Lean on me. Right. So I want you to be that neighborhood specialist in that area.
Yeah.
Right. Build your relationship around that. Right. Be the person that everybody can trust.
Yeah.
Right. So when somebody mentions, oh, Brianna, the real estate agent, right, you want people to say, yeah, absolutely. I trust her. I've done her. I've known her. Right. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I want you to focus on.
Yeah. I like that approach.
And if people don't like it and they hang up, they hang up.
Exactly.
On to the next. And
I feel like that's going to happen no matter what. Like I haven't had that happen. Well, obviously I'm with calling, but I've heard about it. So I'm ready for it to happen. And it's like, not everybody's going to like you or want to work with you. It's like part of the business. So.
But you'll increase your chances by, having that approach. Now, if I came in and I went for the kill, like, hey, Brianna, it's Mike Gomes of Signature Realty. I'm looking to see if you're looking to sell. Market's hot. Market's hot. As you know, let's go. Let's, you're not going to get them.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to sell.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's people don't get it. When I say agents don't get it, like especially newer agents, they don't understand. Right. Especially newer agents that don't own a home.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And never went through the process. Right. The issue here is, it's an emotional transaction for most people who've owned a home for at least 10, 15 years. I just sold my house a year and a half ago. My wife was crying.
Oh, I would cry like a baby.
Yeah. 8 years.
When my parents sold their house.
Right. And we knew we were always going to sell it. I'm like, Adriana, what are we doing here? We knew we were going to, you knew that the game plan was to sell this thing.
Yeah, but
we
you
did
got
a 7-1
memories. Right.
Correct.
Right.
But that's what it is. Right. You have to go in there understanding that you have to deploy emotional intelligence and you have to extract. Right. You have to extract all the sales from it.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to be the person that they lean on. Right. and you have to extract your commission breath.
And
It's about them,
yeah.
right? And how do you be top of mind when they are ready, right? And not only that, not only when they are ready, but when they know somebody that's ready.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because so many things have to happen in order for them to make that decision. Like, all right, they don't wake up today like, got to sell my house.
Right.
No, it's like, all right, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, and this needs to happen.
Right. The sun
Then
needs
I'm
to
ready.
be shining.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
I got to retire, or I need a promotion, or my son's got to graduate.
Right.
Right. And it's okay to have that conversation with them. And let's say they're 2 years out. That's okay. We're not doing this for the next 6 months. We're doing this
Right.
for the next 10, 15, 20 years. You know, I've been in this business for 17.
Right.
Right. If you want longevity, then you need to understand that sometimes nurturing relationships takes years.
Yeah.
Right. It takes years. But in the meantime, if you nurture it the right way, you're going to get referrals
Right.
from it.
Right.
And that's what's important.
And that's something that I need to, just as a new agent, you were asking earlier, implement as well as a CRM, because keeping track of these things is starting to get a little bit more difficult. So,
If you tell me you're using paper and pen, I'm going to kick you.
no, I know. Well, like half and half.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of I have Outbound Engine, which is working, but it's not.
But it's not a CRM.
It's not a CRM. I
It's
need a
just to
CRM.
keep you in front of somebody.
Exactly. So I'm in front of these people, but only through email. So for me personally to follow up, they fall to the back of my mind, even though they're getting my emails. It's like for me to personally connect, not just be the next email that they delete. I need to, you know, set something up.
A CRM is exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's a client relationship management system,
Right.
right? It keeps you organized. It keeps you, accountable to who you need to call today, tomorrow, the next day, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And then you can write down notes on your CRM, right? Based on your previous conversation, which that's very important, by
Right.
the way. Like start your
Oh, yeah.
conversation exactly where you left off. Because they're going to appreciate, oh, she listens.
Yeah, you should see my notes in my phone. It's like I know everybody's kids' names, when their birthdays are, what their soccer practice is. Like the people I've talked to, I take detailed notes because I know it's important. Because people want you to care. That's the main.
That's awesome.
I want people to care about me, just like people want me to care about them. So
Yeah. And that's why this business is hard, because most people don't care.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
They want the
most
money.
agents don't care.
yeah, especially when I'm sure, like when you start to see more success, it's easier to get lost in the success and say that it's less about people, more about the commissions. There's a lot of money moving around, but I think at the end of the day, like the whole reason I got into this and the whole reason I really think that this is my career and I've figured it out is because I want to help people at the end of the day buy their first homes, buy their homes for their family. Like it's more about those relationships. I've always been about customer service. So I think that's what it is for me. It's like creating those relationships and having that feel good at the end of the day, saying like Sally and whoever just got in their forever home, and they're going to have their kids there and they're going to build their memories. And that's what it is more for me than it is about the sale. The sales obviously are great, but
Correct.
that's kind of more what it is for me.
Be the agent on their first home and be the agent on their last home.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge transaction. Right. People forget that.
Yeah.
All right, girl, go cold call.